Hey guys, it's FanaticGuide, and today we are unboxing the iBuyPower TraceMesh Gaming PC. This one has an Intel Core i7-13700F, an Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060, not the 4060 because I didn't want that. I wasn't really interested in the 40 series GPUs. I was more looking at the 30 series. I don't know why. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I'm going to upgrade to 32 eventually, and 1 terabyte of SSD storage. And it also has Windows 11 installed. How great. But what does it matter? Windows 10 support is ending in a little over a year, so it is what it is. But anyway, looking at this, we see an image of the computer itself, and it does have RGB fans and RGB RAM. And over here, we get an image of the front of the computer and Intel branding. And over here, another image of the computer, more RGB branding, and iBuyPower branding. And lastly, over here, a sketch, sort of the computer itself, and some facts like the materials, the color, which is obviously black, the dimensions in millimeters, the motherboard sizes, a cooling system, which I believe in this case, it uses liquid cooling. Again, there are variations of this computer. There's one that has an i7, which is this one. And there's one that has an i7 that also has a 4060 GPU. And there's also one that has an i5 and an i3, which I'll go over the differences later. And one with and going on, we also see the clearance. You can pause and read that if you want to. Radiator support, cooling system, as well as expansion slots, internal 3.5s, internal 2.5s. The front panel I/O, we get USB 3.0 times 2, an optional USB-C, and audio jacks. And dust filters, which we get on the top and on the PSU, on the part that slides out. But anyway, back here, let's get back to unboxing this thing. All right, let's make our first incision here. There's packing tape on this, obviously. And of course here, and here. And hopefully we get that. Of course, we can't forget about this branding. And we get some more things. Like if you're having trouble, you contact them first. And some more stuff about technical support and whatnot, and customer service. So if you want to pause and read that, you can. And now, looking at this, I'm gonna pause and get this out of its plastic support and styrofoam support too. But first, I'm gonna get the keyboard out. There we go. Let's take a moment and unbox the keyboard and mouse. Now, you will release it from in here. It's hard to do one-handed, obviously. And the keyboard will slide out. Just like so. I'm gonna cut it open because I feel like it. Plus a pain in the ass to get out. I ended up breaking the box. Not a good role model for unboxing. But now that that's gone, I'm going to take this out. Here is the keyboard. We're going to set this aside for now. And this is a USB Type A connection, not a USB-C. And here is our wired mouse, if I can get that out too. This is also a wired connection, also USB-A. I'm gonna get that out. And it looks pretty good. Now here's what you really wanna see. It's the computer. I'm gonna move the styrofoam out of the way. And there we go. Styrofoam's out of the way. And the computer's on its side. How great is that? Just what we want. And here it is in its full glory. With this we have an Intel Core i7-13700F processor. So it is a Raptor Lake. And we have an Nvidia GeForce RTX 3068GB GPU. And now I'm going to take some time to explain some of the differences between this and the other models that also use this case. So other ones include the i3-N16501, and it uses an i3-13100F, and instead of the RTX GPUs, it uses a GTX 1654 gig, and also instead of 16 gigs of RAM, it has 8 gigs of DDR4, 3000 megahertz of RAM, and it also has 500 gigs of SSD storage. And next up would be the TraceMesh i5-N3601. That has an i5-13400F with an RTX 3068 gig, which this has. And this also bumps things up to 16 gigs of DDR4, 3200 megahertz RAM, and nothing else changes. Now, this, when you upgrade to that, like I said, 13700F, and this time you get 1 terabyte of SSD storage and a liquid-cooled CPU, which you'll see pretty soon. Now, what's left in here is a quick start guide, which we'll look at later on, and the cable which goes from here. I'll take that off. Here, from the power supply to your wall outlet. Looking at this in further context, you get more stuff in here. That's where all your internals are. We'll see that more in the video. And we've got power button, our USB-A ports. These are USB 3.2 from what I understand. Our audio jacks and the USB-C port on top. And over on the back, we've got our plug for the power supply. And we've also got our GPU plugs, which include HDMI ports and 3 display ports. It's just 1 HDMI port, by the way. So the RTX GPUs tend to have 3 display ports, 1 HDMI port. And under this sticker right here, we get 2 more USB ports. I believe those are USB 2.0. 2 more USB 3 ports, actually 4 more. An Ethernet jack, Ethernet port, my bad. And another USB-C port. And another USB port. I don't know what the hell the red's supposed to mean. And some wireless things right there. I think this is supposed to support Wi-Fi 6E. But anyway, look into it. Now, this is tempered glass. And that's what it says right there, so that makes that point obvious. And now, what is in here is stuff. Lots of stuff. Even has a step-by-step video on how to unfold it. Now I just have to remove completely. And under here, we get our liquid-cooled CPU with our RTX GPU, so we can get ray tracing in our games now. And we get our 16 gigs of RGB RAM, which I am going to upgrade that later on. And under there is our 600 watt power supply. And yeah. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering what the difference is between air-cooled CPUs and liquid-cooled CPUs, I will leave that in the info card just so you are wondering. Because from what I find, liquid-cooled CPUs tend to be more efficient in that matter. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then please make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time.